10 or
Same thing.
11.
Same difference. 2010. I think that's when we lost to like Pittsburgh or somebody. So it doesn't matter. The cap space doesn't matter. They don't need cap space because they haven't made the playoffs in forever, right? So whatever they do is going to be a plus. I'm not a big cap guy. I'm not a big salary guy. And with the Jets, win or lose, we won 4 games last year?
No. We won 7 games last year. What are you talking about, man?
Oh, so no, at this point in the season, we won 3 or 4.
We won 3 games. It's the season's
at
worst.
this point of the season.
Right. You got to care about the cap space. And the only reason why I'm saying you have to care, because you're going to have Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner's contracts coming up. You don't want to lose them guys unless they get hurt. So they're going to want to get paid. They're going to want some money. So it does matter. But I'm like, hey, take all the hit next year. We're rebuilding.
It matters for other teams.
No, it matters for us.
It does not matter.
Sound right. That's so it matters for us. We got to sign our good players. We do have good players.
Jets have a lot of players.
Good players. They got talent. My thing is, let's start it off. Who's going to be the GM? Who would you like to see as a GM? Who would you like to see as a head coach? And quarterback. So, hey, Isaac, tell us about
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. Tell us a little bit about him.
So the Jets drafted him last year. After he came off a 13-win season with Florida State, and he was ACC Player of the Year. The year after he left, after Jordan Travis left, the ACC Player of the Year, Florida State has gone 2-10, 2-11.
Okay, but that's college. You think he'll make a good pro? And what was
I think
his
he will
injury?
because he's not a one-year player. He's been consistent throughout his last 3 years, and the only reason he didn't get drafted as high is because he broke his leg.
Okay.
It would be hard to say I want to see him start a game next year. I'd rather see Tyrod start a game next year, and maybe Jordan rolls in or something. But if we don't see Tyrod next year, I'd love to see a draft pick. I'd love to see the Jets draft a QB.
That says a lot for a player, though. If they were that good with him, and then the drop off was drastic after he went to the league, that says a lot about that player.
What do you mean?
Florida State,
but he hasn't played
like
yet.
You said. No, that's what I'm saying. No, so his college team only won 2 games after he graduated.
Yeah.
Yes,
that says a lot about him.
Yeah, so
he was great. He was actually great. When in my mock draft this year, I had the Jets picking him in the 5th round, but they got him in the 4th.
Okay. So, hey Sam, who would you like to see as quarterback next year or draft?
Right. We've talked about this before in the past. I think the Jets have two really good quarterbacks now. They're just not playing. And I think you need to call them up. Call Martinez up. Travis, if he's healthy, have him play this year, and you keep Tyrod as the veteran, and you get rid of Aaron Rodgers. That's my opinion. I don't think we need to go looking for a quarterback. I think we have 2 guys just waiting for their chance, and I think they're good.
What about you, Ramon?
So, the way I look at it is, do we keep the guys we have and try to rock with them? Are they traditional quarterbacks, right? Travis is a small guy for a quarterback.
He's 6'2", I think.
He's 6'2", listed at 6'1".
6'1",
so
yeah.
Either way, that's still small for a quarterback, right? You want that 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guy with some wheels, right? That's the modern day quarterback now.
So is it? Because the only quarterback that's height that's balling out right now is what's his name in Buffalo? All the other quarterbacks.
Justin Herbert's 6'6" too, though.
Yeah,
and Trevor Lawrence.
Is his team balling out? They're not balling out.
No, Justin Herbert's balling out. Justin Herbert is. Trevor Lawrence is not.
Trevor Lawrence is not. But then,
what about the MVP?
I don't know how tall Lamar is. I think
Lamar
6'2".
Yeah, but
he's 6'2".
Lamar,
Yeah.
With wheels.
Lamar and Josh, they're special talents.
Any
They're
quarterback
special
now, they have
talents,
to be able to
yeah.
move.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, Russell Wilson's not over 6 feet, and he's doing pretty well.
But he can move.
And he still can move a little bit.
As is the guy in the Texans. What's his name for the Texans?
CJ Stroud.
He's not that tall, and neither is Tua down in Miami.
That's
So
true.
we don't go
Those are really
traditional.
good
We
quarterbacks.
go speed. We go runner.
We go accuracy and running.
Yeah, we go running
moving.
quarterback.
Because our
When's the
offensive
last time we
line
had
is
a
too
running
suspect.
quarterback?
I don't think we ever had
Michael
one.
Vick.
Tim Tebow.
Michael Vick.
Oh, Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, Michael Vick were like the same year almost.
Yeah. So I don't know. So as far as quarterback, do you say we draft one in the first round?
It depends on position.
No. Regardless of position, do we draft? We're going to have a top 10 pick. Do we draft a quarterback in the first round?
There's some great quarterbacks this year.
I don't know who's a free agent. What free agency
draft.
is coming up.
Not
No, I
free
know.
agency, draft.
But it depends on who you can get, right? But the draft comes before, so I mean, again, I think we have two really good quarterbacks waiting. I think the problem we're going to have is you're going to have a new GM, you're going to have a new head coach, and they want their quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true. And are we going to hire the coaches and the quarterback coaches that can develop a quarterback or teach an old dog new tricks? I don't know. Are we going to sign one out of free agency? Do you think Sam Darnold will want to come back to New York?
Sam Darnold's going to stay in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to get that. I don't know. Minnesota, they I don't know. Maybe they're waiting to see how far they go in the playoffs before they offer him a big contract. It's a mess. I hope, I say release Aaron Rodgers, take the big cap hit next year, draft whoever you got to draft.
Who?
We're not we're just not there. It's just like what was that movie? Bronx Tale. What's the worst thing? Wasted talent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but I hate to see all that talent wasted.
Well,
I think Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they was like, okay, we're not going to the playoffs. Put Tyron or maybe one of those Martinez or somebody in. Just see what they have.
I don't think we should draft a quarterback.
Okay.
I think our line is okay this year. But if we get a little bit better, then we can support anybody we put back there.
Okay, so who would you like to be? Who would you like to see as a quarterback?
Now, I don't have an opinion on it. I haven't even looked at quarterbacks. I'm saying we don't have to draft one. I'm saying anyone we put back there is going to be an upgrade if they're coached up.
Yes.
Yeah, we all know that.
So we don't waste a draft pick on a quarterback. We build the team properly.
Okay.
We got the receivers. We got the runners. We got the defense if the offense can keep the ball a little bit. So we shore up the line. We get a quality tight end, and we build a real football team.
But I again too, I think it depends on who's available in the draft. I mean, it depends on where the Jets pick and who's available. If you got Shador and Cam Ward sitting there,
you have to take one.
So that's different. Yeah,
that's you're gonna have to take one of them.
But that's wishful thinking because the Jets prove to always win enough games to not get a top pick.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna get him.
I don't think
so.
Hey, I got a question, and Isaac probably knows this better than most because he follows a lot of college football. What about Milrose from Alabama?
No.
Okay.
No, Milrose has shown he's been great in the beginning of the year, but he's shown so much inconsistency. And if the Jets draft him, he'd literally just do the exact same thing. He'd be like Anthony Richardson. He'd literally be identical to Anthony Richardson, maybe worse.
How about Beck?
Maybe better? But
how about Beck from Georgia?
Oh, absolutely not.
If you pick Beck from Georgia, I mean, you're
Beck
suffering for the next 3 years.
Beck is
The only quarterback I'm thinking second of is Quinn Ewers from Texas. He was actually great. He was projected to be a top pick last year, in the Caleb Williams draft, but he decided to stay extra year with Texas. But he's been kind of inconsistent a little bit, and it'd be nice to see what he could do in the playoffs. But I think the Jets, what they should do for the next year, starting quarterback-wise, is honestly, I know this is kind of like, this is irrational thinking, but I think it's to give Jordan Travis a chance. Like,
I think so.
and
I've been saying
I
it.
say this, and I'll say this because
He has
looking at what
injuries.
San Francisco did with Brock Purdy, how they found a way. Obviously, it's a system in the way, but they found out that Brock Purdy, he's kind of fast, he's quick at times, but
He's young.
accurate. He's accurate, and they played to his strengths. And I feel like if we played to Jordan Travis's speed, because he's fast, trust me, he's fast, and his accuracy, I feel like we could be okay.
Then what kind of injury does he have?
He broke his leg.
He broke his leg.
So he's not fast anymore.
Well,
We don't know.
You don't know
no,
that.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It's probably not healing as fast as they wanted
And
to.
I hope he heals up because leg injuries are tough for athletes. It messes with their confidence.
Right. Hello, world. Welcome to De Leon Sports Talks, where we scream New York sports. All right. We're going to get it started early today. We just saw the Jets football game, and they lost. You know, not surprising. They start off with a bang, and then they couldn't finish up. I just want to throw some stats out there right quick before we get it started, because I'm kind of done with the Jets. Last year, week 13, the Jets were 4-8. This year, week 13, the Jets are 3-9. No improvement at all. Last year, our total points per game were 15.8. Our opponent's total points were 20.9. We were third in total defense, giving up 292 yards a game. In offense, we were 31st last year. So, this year, we're 28th in offense. Holy cow. 3 steps up. Averaging 18.5 points a game. What they said, we just needed a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers definitely was a failure. And the defense, believe it or not, is ranked 6th, which to me is a very good, still good defense. But they're allowing 22 points a game. Okay, we should, with Aaron Rodgers, we should at least get 24. Last year, the Jets averaged 55 penalty yards a game. Last year. This year, so far, is 62. So, the Jets, oh, man. What a disappointment. That's all I got to say, Jet fans. I'll let y'all go. Who wants to start off about the game? I don't even want to talk about it.
Watching the game I was hoping Aaron Rodgers didn't get the ball. Special teams, defense was doing it. And I go, if Aaron Rodgers gets the ball, it's not going to go well. And you know what happened? Pick 6. The worst kind of pick 6.
Yeah.
Right? We're knocking on a doorstep, and that's it. We're done. And then that took the heart away from the team right there.
Yeah, that's the difference.
As a fan, I'm like, yep, I knew it.
Yeah, that's the difference of the game. And, you know, Breece Hall fumbled on a nice drive. And turnovers, penalties. It's not a good team.
So what was up with all the fumbles as well early in that game? Sometimes I think it's the equipment manager when I see a lot of missed field goals, a lot of fumbles, because those balls that they punt are different balls.
Oh, man, Jet fans, we got the excuses. Come on.
Down to blaming the equipment manager. Look,
It's got to be the equipment manager. Somebody.
We got to blame somebody right now.
Hey.
It wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault, but we got a longtime Jet fan who's putting on the mask. We know who he is, but he's wearing the mask now, the bag over the head.
Hey, wearing it just in case some people view this, and at least they can't put a face to the name. At least not for now, right? It gets embarrassing going to seeing these games. and I'm at home trying to hide my face. That's how embarrassed I am. Like, so, but you know, the Jets today. I mean, looking at those stats that you gave, Ramon, there was also another stat about the defense. Right, they're third against the pass, 28 against the run.
Dang.
Horrible defense. Well, against the run at least. I mean, today they played a little better than they normally they have in the past.
Yeah.
But it's the
pick six.
discipline.
The pick six is the discipline on the.
I wouldn't even blame it on the pick six, right? Because that was a ball that got batted, and it ended up in his hands. So, he got lucky. To me, that's a lucky pick six. But
Okay.
the penalties. I think today, like on that last drive, the next to last drive that Seattle had before we got the ball back, where they scored that last touchdown, 3 4th and whatevers, and 3 penalties give them the first down. Before that, I think there was another 2 or 3 before that. I mean, come on, the team is not disciplined. They're just not jumping off sides, holdings, lining up in the neutral zone. How many times has that happened this year?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. And Aaron Rodgers again with a delay of game. You see him, Devontae, and Garrett Wilson arguing like they don't know what play is being run.
That series, you're right. Was that the third quarter? Was that the third quarter or the fourth quarter? He took a sack. He almost got Wilson killed over the middle and delay a game.
Delay again. It's
right.
Just,
so those 3 plays were all on Aaron Rodgers, and he looked like a rookie quarterback.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, think about it.
Taking the sack,
delay a game, then almost getting his wide receiver killed.
Yeah.
I'm saying this all year. Aaron Rodgers can't throw the crossing route anymore. He can't keep up with his receivers. He can't throw the ball to meet his receiver speed. He has thrown the ball behind Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams and all his other receivers. I don't know how many times this year.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm. The season's over. We got to think about next year. I'm done. The playoffs are gone. We will have another losing record. We're not even having a winning record. Just 9th loss. A little bit about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers signed a 3-year contract worth $112 million, $112.5 million, including a $75 million guaranteed bonus, guaranteed contract, and an average annual salary of $37 million. So, this year he carries a cap hit of $17 million and dead money cap value of $66 million. So he's not going to get released this year. But next year, depending, this cap is crazy. I was trying to look it up to make sense of it. If he's released before June. Yeah, man.
Or after June. It's after June.
If it's released before June, it's $45 million dead cap space. So you lost $40 million off your salary cap. If he's traded, it's still $49 million before June. So
he's stuck with us.
Yeah, or post or afterwards. If he's traded or released after June 1st, the dead caps is $14 million. Same thing with trade. The way the Jets get around it to lower it, if they release them after June 1st, and they could split that dead cap money, $7 million for 2025, $7 million for 2026. So all depending how you want to build your team, the GM gonna have to make a serious decision. I'm at this point that it's time to let you go, Aaron. I don't know what happens if he retires or doesn't want to pay. I know he doesn't get the salary. I'm not sure if he gets hit against the salary cap. So, hey, Aaron, thanks for the ride. You ain't got it, man. He ain't got it. Let him go somewhere else.
So we're talking about the future in the cap space.
The
Correct
future.
me if I'm wrong. The last time the Jets were in the playoffs was what, 2010?
No, 2011, right?
Yeah,
And
Well,
maybe that's why they
and it's been over a year, so something
take
else must be going on.
no, like he said, leg
It,
injuries. They're not
your
confident. You got to build
strength, your
your muscle.
confidence,
Yeah,
your
you got to
muscle
build some muscles.
memory,
Yeah,
your reaction.
yeah.
Leg
So
injuries it's not the same. You hurt your shoulder, you hurt your hand. It's not the same. Your legs, your core. That's your blood right there. That's your lifeblood.
You can't do anything.
yeah, so
You can't run the same shape.
yeah, you guys got to get in the screen. I can't see both of y'all. But we'll see, man.
I can see him.
Oh man, it's so disappointing that the season over. So my next question, like we were saying on quarterbacks and GMs and head coach, who would like to see to be the next head coach or the next GM? Because the GM's gonna pick his head coach.
I'll put this in your guys' court because I don't pay attention to that. I just root for the team and the players.
I yell for Rex. You know, I'm yelling for Rex Ryan. Whatever coaches out there you think that might want to come to the Jets, I think when we was at Thanksgiving dinner, Sam, David said Aaron Glenn.
That's
the
a good
coach-
pick, but I don't think so.
The coach he's an ex-Jet, and he's coaching Detroit, defensive coach for Detroit. It's funny. I don't know about the Jets.
Do we want another defensive-minded head coach, though?
No, I'm sick of that. We've had that forever.
Ulbrich, Saleh, Bowles, like all of them.
Yeah, but Ulrich, he was thrown in there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
So
I'm not a fan of Saleh. Adam Gase was horrible.
Mancini
We just
wasn't
been doing
good.
bad over head coaches. That's all. They got to
So-
win.
So
Rex
here's
was
a
good.
question. Here's a question for that. When you say, all right, no defensive-minded head coaches.
I don't mind a
Right.
defensive-minded coach.
So those defensive head coach, offensive genius, those are labels they throw on coaches, right?
Yeah.
So the last few coaches that we consider to be winners, right? Our guy in Kansas City. Then we got Baltimore, Pete Carroll. I mean, which of these guys were offensive geniuses or defensive-minded coaches? Is
Yeah,
Harbaugh a defensive coach?
No.
I think he's a defensive
He's a
coach from
quarterback.
Baltimore, but he likes to
he's
run the
good. He's
ball.
more for the quarterback.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
likes to run
quarterback.
that ball. He likes that pound and ground and use the run to open up the
Which Harbaugh are we talking about?
both of them.
Both
Well,
really.
they both were quarterbacks.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, in the past, they had the guy out in San Francisco, Harbaugh, when he's coaching San Francisco, had Kaepernick. They went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson. So they kind of like that running type quarterback that gives you both options. But I know they like to run the ball. But to me, it doesn't matter whether you're defensive minded or offensive minded. You got to know both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I'm still yelling for Rex. I don't know what the Jets are doing. They hired Mike Tannenbaum to be part of the 33rd team, and this organization helps you search for GMs and quarterbacks. I'm like, so we going to a guy that we fired to look for the next GM.
Yeah.
Honestly, this could be insane what I'm about to say, but I'd like to say Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
think about what he did with Tennessee, knowing with Ryan Tannehill, who obviously was not good. Obviously, they had Derrick Henry to carry the load, but with Mike Vrabel, they had identity. They made it far. They beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They beat not prime, but 14-2 Lamar Jackson in the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill. Or at least that's what I believe.
Excellent point.
Or
No,
it could
no,
have been the
excellent.
Bills. I don't really know. But they made it far. They made it to the playoffs. I could be wrong.
No, we were
see that.
thinking that Tannehill was a quarterback because they were winning. And that's
Yes.
why I say we can put anyone back there as long as they're coached up.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, yeah. I don't know about the GM search. I just hope the GM they get has a winning record as a GM, and that he has some uh, deep college scouting experience. You got to get them guys out of college, if you want to draft, and he has to have some knowledge of the salary cap because Aaron Rodgers, that salary cap is going to get messed up. I say release Aaron Rodgers, tell him thank you for the ride. It didn't work out. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
All together, all around, didn't work out.
I have a question. Do you think the Jets, Woody Johnson, ignoring the racist emails, would hire John Gruden?
Oh, please don't do that.
John Gruden. This was, when John Gruden.
John Gruden was never a good coach to me.
Well, y'all, John Gruden was a
We're
good
gonna
coach.
keep this a sport talk.
He got a good coach. People forget he had the Raiders. The Tuck rule. The Raiders would have been in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for the Tuck rule, and they got rid of the Tuck rule 10 years later. He had the Raiders rolling. He won the Super Bowl.
But to answer his question, right? Because we know about the past with the Tuck rule. To answer his question, I don't think John Gruden is a modern day coach.
Right.
He's not a modern
No,
day
he's
coach.
not
He
anymore.
tried.
Yeah.
He can't do it. He just
Right.
can't do it. His style doesn't work. I don't think he can relate to players.
No, you're absolutely right. What I like about John Gruden, I think he could be, if you just left him be a quarterback coach, maybe
Yeah.
that.
I believe that's true. I
He's
believe
smart,
he can
like
coach up a good quarterback.
quarterbacks and stuff like that. Because I remember when he said he did something on TV. I forgot it was. He was like, the player I would draft first would be Michael Vick, and everybody thought he was crazy when he said that. Everybody thought he was crazy when he said that. So I think he's good for just a quarterback coach to teach him up. But I don't know about a head coach. And the emails he sent. Yeah, and then I think you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to rebuild a team. You don't want nobody controversial like that. Not in the New York media.
Even if the emails weren't a thing, he hasn't proven to be a modern day coach.
Not recently, yeah. I was just saying that for controversy. I don't think he can put.
He's failed.
I'm just gonna put it out there too. To me, I don't think he's that great of a coach.
Right.
He won a Super Bowl with a team that another coach built.
Right, built up. Yeah.
That's true. That's actually true.
And that's it. And that's the only thing he won. After that team was horrible.
Yeah. So who's going to be our coach? What's the search going to be like?
I think the Jets, they got obviously, right. I don't want them to hire another coach that has a losing record. They've done that in the past also.
Right.
I would like them to get an offensive-minded coach. I think Vrabel would be a great choice.
I think Vrabel would be amazing.
But again, it's going to depend on who's the GM and what the GM thinks is in their mind. Don't get a coach out of college. The only one I would even consider getting out of college would be Dion, and that's it. But that's because Dion knows the NFL game. He knows the game. So, but again, I like Rex. I think Rex, like he said, he had some unfinished business. I think Rex probably has learned from his past mistakes and all that nonsense with having the tattoo on his arm and the video of you sucking on your wife's toes or whatever it was. I think he's learned from that.
I forgot about that.
New
set
York
him up.
will break the best man in the world, right? It's that New York lifestyle.
Hey, Rex said, "Hey, I like what I like" when they talk about.
Oh
that.
my God! I remember talk about that on ESPN. I didn't believe it.
Yeah,
I like Rex. And
he
Rex.
tattooed Mark Sanchez's face on his arm. Like,
what do you call it? Franchise? What do you call it?
Franchise. That's what they used to call it.
Franchise. Hey,
But Mark Sanchez actually did a great job calling the game today.
Yeah, wasn't that weird? It's like
he did a great job. I was impressed.
Mark, he knows the game. Mark Sanchez is calling the game. for a former quarterback who took his place.
Yep.
And it's his first game back in MetLife. And here we go. Was it Groundhog's Day? What was that movie?
Groundhog's Day. Yeah. But they set Sanchez up to fail. So
Well, he hurt his shoulder. He couldn't throw the ball.
But he
I don't
did a
know.
great job calling the game. Usually when you hear a guy call a game, you're like, who is this guy? And then you see him like, oh, it's this guy. He actually did a great job.
Well, he was a quarterback. He knows the game, just like Tony Romo. Sometimes he's kind of corny, but he knows the game. Tom Brady knows the game. What's his name? Troy Aikman. He knows the game. You can see their knowledge.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna let you know.
Dan Orlovsky, quarterback coach.
Dan Orlovsky. He just loves quarterbacks.
Coach.
No, he ain't no quarterback coach. He just loves quarterbacks.
Give him a
The
shot.
Quarterback was never at fault. He's never at fault. I love the quarterback. The reason the guy fumbled or threw an interception was because something flew in his eye. That's Dan Orlovsky. He always got an excuse for his quarterbacks, but I like his passion. I like Dan Orlovsky's passion when he talks
If
about
Rex becomes the head coach, he's gonna bring Dan Orlovsky with him. He's gonna bring Riddick with him. He's gonna bring all them people from ESPN with him to the team.
Well,
But honestly, I can't lie. Those guys are geniuses.
you got to
With
be
some of
the
their
GM.
takes, but I remember I heard something from Jeff Saturday, the guy who was the interim Colts head coach, and he said something. I forgot what he said, but he said something, and it was genuinely I was like, this guy was an NFL head coach, and he just said the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life.
Well, they're people as well.
Yeah, that's true. It was like a take. It was on take on some quarterback. Oh no, it was a take on the top 5 NFL teams.
All right, let's get off them.
Sorry.
Let's just get off them. I'm done with the Jets. Do you guys got any more last comments? I'm done with the Jets.
No.
Well, I have a comment. Go ahead, Sam.
I said I was done with them 2 weeks ago. Obviously, I wasn't. I mean, I'm done. Like, the season's over, right? So, am I going to watch every Sunday? I don't know, because the season's basically over. But I want to see, like, if they put one of these other guys in, I want to see how they play. So, I'm hoping the Jets bench Aaron Rodgers, call up Martinez and Travis. I don't know if Travis is still hurt or not. And let those two.
Hurt.
He's still hurt. So call up Martinez, let Martinez play. Because why put all that? Why let Tyrod get all those snaps? He's old anyway. He's still lucky to be in the league. So let Martinez play.
I'll just say it's December, right? And we're playing Miami next week. And normally that's a rivalry game where we're like, hey, Jets, Miami, even if both teams aren't doing great, we got to watch it. And I'm more excited about the tree lighting.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the tree lighting than the Jets Miami game.
How many Miami games you going to go to when the score is 14-9, 12-6, 12-7 with the Jets? Yeah, I'm done with the Jets.
Yeah, we go to Miami almost every year.
Well, I'm not going.
I'm not going this year either.
I ain't going this year to see the Jets. I've seen. I'm done. I'm done with the Jets. Of course, until next year.
Till next week.
No, I'm not.
But consolation, Patriots record 3-10.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just
Only
like
3-9.
I'm kind of done with football until the playoffs. Now it's all about. I hope they lose so we can get higher draft pick. But can we move on?
Yes, you can.
Yes, we can.
All right. So we're gonna talk about those New York Knickerbockers. But before we talk about the Knicks, over Thanksgiving dinner, Sam had a real good idea about the NBA Cup, the Emirates Cup. And why don't you go into details about that, Sam?
Yeah, so, over Thanksgiving dinner, we started talking about the Knicks and basketball, and the Cup came up. And I was like, why are they having the Cup now? It's early in the season. I mean, the teams have played maybe 20 games. and they're trying to make it like soccer, right? But what happens in soccer when they have those tournaments, those in league
I
tournaments,
remember you did say this.
those guys go to the whatever the playoff is for that league, right? So my thought is the League Cup should not be had until maybe before the All-Star break, right before the All-Star break, or maybe right after. And the winner of the cup gets an automatic bid to the playoffs. Whether it's as a play-in or whatever, depending on where their record is, they get an automatic bid.
I mean, I like that idea.
Honestly, I like the idea.
I like the idea, but I know why they do it now. Because it's about the playoffs, right? And it's about fan engagement, and it's about the games are going to be played anyway. So you might as well, when I turn on a game and I find out that it's a cup game, I'm gonna maybe keep that game on a little bit longer, even if it's Cleveland versus Orlando, right? I'm gonna watch that game a little bit longer. Than just, all right, this is just Cleveland, Orlando playing, let me turn it. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit NBA.com and I'm going to check the spread to see, the average point of victory to see who's going to go for a championship. And that's why I think they do it early in the season before All-Star break. Because one, they want to promote All-Star break and they want to get those festivities. And then after that, they want to talk trades. Then they want to talk playoff push. And then they want to talk play-in game. So it's a marketing strategy. I understand why they do it now, but as a competition that we want to see, we're not going to get that. So we're not going to get.
But wouldn't you think more fans would be more engaged if the winner of the cup was guaranteed a spot in the playoffs? That would make me want to watch it.
I think.
Like right now, I could care less about the
more teams, more players would be more engaged, more fired up in those games. It would be a better playoff atmosphere during those games. The NBA fans are fickle. They just want to see highlights right now.
So are you saying have the cup is good to have it early for the casual fan who may not want to get into NBA to the playoffs?
It's for the casual fan to draw them in now.
Okay.
To
I got another question
generate some excitement because with the NBA, it's like baseball. Their seasons are so long that there's nothing to grab our attention, especially with football.
So I definitely like the idea that the winner is guaranteed a spot.
I love that idea
for the players. So what do you think about this idea? Have the championship played a little bit later, like you said in February or January. Have the championship game be the NBA All-Star game.
No.
No?
Honestly,
no. You gotta say why.
No, I don't like the idea of the NBA All-Star game being pushed back a little farther.
No, I didn't say that. I said you play it during the NBA All-Star game.
Instead of having an All-Star game, the Cup Championship is the game. Is the All-Star game.
Yes,
right.
Then yes, actually yes. The All-Star game is a complete joke. It's a waste of money and time.
So yeah, that's something that I brought up, and it was in thinking about it, the All-Star game is strange now because you got the sophomores versus the rookies,
which is nice.
And so you still have that game maybe, right? But then are they going to play in the Cup game if they're there?
No, they don't. They don't
play the sophomore versus the rookies.
No, the championship game, the players don't. They play just the championship game.
So here's what the NBA should do. They should call up Ice Cube, right?
The big three.
The big three.
They call up Ice Cube, right? They do the 3-pointer, the dunk contest, the skills, and the showcase, right? They have the tournament championship game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day or day after,
they bring out
they have they have the 3-on-3 tournament. If they want to still showcase their superstars in a basketball event.
All right, wait a minute. The 3-on-3 tournament will be current NBA players?
Why not? Pickup style.
Okay.
Half-court.
I have an idea. Am I allowed to say my idea?
Of course.
So for NBA All-Star, I say instead of having an All-Star game, or you have the All-Star game, but instead let's have an idea below that. Like, do you know how like this skills challenge? Let's get the three bottom teams from the NBA, the three worst teams, and get their last player from every roster. Create that as a three team player. No, you have to hear me. And then we decide to get the best 3 WNBA players. And whoever wins gets to transition into the other
right.
organization.
Okay. It sounds like your PS5 fantasy team. Hey, might as well give it a shot because the current NBA game is a joke. It's a joke.
I like that fun idea, but even now, if my wife watches an NBA game and the 8th man on the bench is in the game, she's like, "Who's that?
Yes.
Who's this guy? Why is he on the court? He's trash."
Yeah, because guess what? Now we're going to be replacing that with Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark.
They're already going to be there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
But
I like it though.
I was gonna say I like that. Like the cup is the All-Star game. I like that too. You have the 3-game. You might even have that 3-game tournament leading up to the 3-on-3 tournament leading up to the NBA game, right? Because you're gonna have a lot of players if they're not involved in the cup or the championship, they're not gonna want to play. So why have them there?
I hear you.
And so also, how are they going to give the players a break too? Right?
Yeah,
they're also
true. giving
the players a break.
They get the whole week. They get the whole All-Star week off.
It's a weekend.
No, it's a week. It's a week. It's a week.
Well, they get that week off. Nobody's playing that week.
Yeah, nobody's playing that week. So they get some rest, but if you guarantee a playoff spot,
Yeah, you'll see people trying.
I say you're
You
guaranteed.
won't see the Atlanta Hawks sitting Trae Young. For the game.
No, right, and you're guaranteed the 8th spot.
Yep.
You're guaranteed it might be a play-in spot or the 7th spot, a play-in spot, but you're guaranteed a playoff spot. But Ed, talking about the cup, which is interesting, and I know the NBA may like this. You know, the Atlanta Hawks won their group, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team with the best record, will not be in the Emeralds Cup. So I'm sure the NBA likes stuff like that to keep, the Hawks fans engaged.
Yeah.
That's
my point, is to keep those other fans engaged, keep everyone else watching that particular game, right? Because outside of Atlanta, I don't think many people are watching the Hawks.
Right.
And again, but the team doesn't even care because they sat Trae Young.
Right.
There you go.
Their best player.
Which also says something about
fined.
sponsors, right? Because Trae Young left Adidas and he's with Nike now. So maybe sponsors aren't even involved in that yet.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Hey Trae, you got a chance to be on national TV. What's going on?
Yeah.
And maybe all those games get put on national TV.
I hear you. If there's enough money behind it, yeah. Because I can't wait to see Julius Randle with his sketches. All right, moving on.
So Joel Embiid wears them, so he gets a lot of national games.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, they sure do. Well, hey, let's move on. Hey, that's good talk about the NBA Cup. I definitely like that idea about the winning team goes to the guaranteed slot in the playoffs, or maybe play the championship game at All-Star break. I really like those ideas. So NBA, pay my brother some money. Come up with that idea. Thank you very much.
Let's make sure we copyright this so that we can say we brought it first.
So hey, let's talk about the Knicks. The New York Knickerbockers. Last year after 19 games, the Knicks were 12-7. This year after 19 games, the Knicks are 11-8. So basically the same record. So I'll let the Pat Riley guru talk about it first. Go ahead.
The Pat Riley guru? Who's that?
Yeah, you.
So if we talk Knicks, we have to talk two things. First, we have to talk Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. This would be a bottom team. This would be an HC team. This would be maybe not even in the playoffs without these guys playing hard every game.
Okay.
The energy level is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think Brunson's averaging like 2 more assists a game this year. So he's distributing the ball well. He's still scoring, filling it up. The team struggles when him and Hart come off the court every single time.
I told you guys after Brunson and whoever, I think Josh Hart is the Knicks MVP.
He's the soul of the team. Hart.
OG dropped 44.
That's true.
Ho.
I dropped 44
OG dropped
yesterday?
40.
40.
Brunson had 17 assists, career high.
Yeah.
20 points. Someone else had 20 points that game. Like 3 people had 20 points that game. That game was just a
Yeah, it was a blowout.
It was a blowout. The opponent went to the strip club too late that night.
Yeah, well, it was against Denver, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
It was once again the Knicks they went 5-3-2 on the road trip.
So let me get back to my second point.
Mainly West
Let me
Coast
get back to my second point.
Okay.
So Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, okay? They're carrying the team, but Thibodeau is hurting the team.
I don't think they're carrying the team.
That's okay, but Thibodeau is hurting the team as a coach.
I think
he's gonna hate against what I said there, but Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson are carrying the team. Every Knicks fan knows that. Thibodeau, though, right now his coaching is not up to par. His adjustments, his sub patterns. I saw him. The Knicks were probably up 13 at the end of a half. No, it was the end of the first quarter, I believe. And there was 20 seconds on the clock, and he is so intense. He's barking orders. I paused it and rewound it. His hand is shaking. He's so into it, right? So he doesn't know how to dial down his intensity and then ramp it up when he has to.
I love
Well,
Tibbs.
we love the intensity, but as coaching, it's a chess match.
I love Tibbs.
So he has to make sure that he's engaging those other players and putting them in the right spots. The Knicks don't know how to react. I mean, we almost got destroyed by Charlotte. We barely won that game.
Well,
and then the game before that, we got crushed.
All right,
and he's not doing a good job managing his team right now.
I like to talk about those games. Dallas game, you saw it. They was missing their 3-pointers. They was missing their shots. And what I thought was sad about the Dallas game was, they got blown out. Kyrie had a great game. That one dude, Anderson, was just hitting shots. Where did this come from? The Knicks couldn't get no stops on defense. So that was glaring. I was like, they couldn't get no stops. So, that was I was surprised about that. And then the Charlotte game, I'm like, man, it's hard to play the day after Thanksgiving.
Hey, let's talk about that Dallas game, though, before you go to that Charlotte game. Before you go to that Charlotte game, that Dallas game, Kyrie had a great game until the third quarter. We made adjustments. Kyrie didn't score in the third quarter.
Yeah, but the game was basically lost. They was just down. They couldn't make no stops on defense.
So my point, they didn't adjust before halftime. He couldn't adjust in the first quarter, in the second quarter. Kyrie didn't score in the third quarter.
I don't think it had to do with adjustments. They couldn't make no stops. I mean, nobody could. The whole team. I mean, we're missing Mitch, a big man in the middle. It's still early.
Look at that game, though. If you get the chance to watch that game again, they never make stops. They didn't actually.
Yeah, they
didn't actually hit threes, so their shot wasn't falling. That's what I just said.
That's what I said. They was missing all their shots, and they didn't make no defensive stops. So, yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. They was like 0 for 9 from threes. So I think Tibbs, compared their record last year and this year is basically the same. This year, it's chemistry, basketball. And I see Tibbs' substitutions, what he's doing. Tibbs is trying to figure out what works best for the Knicks. I can't say he's doing a bad job. I think he's doing a great job.
I can. So now let's move to that Charlotte game, right?
And then his best defensive player, Mitch Robinson, is out, and his backup, Achua, is out.
Well, let's move to that Charlotte game, right? So that Charlotte game, and I put it on Thibs because when I was watching that game, I'm like, all right, Charlotte is missing 2-3 of their best players, and they're giving us the business. Who wasn't prepared for that game? Who didn't watch tape? Who didn't know who they were playing against? The NBA is a scouting league. You know people's tendencies.
This is the deal, man. This is the deal.
You know tendencies. You watch the film. You go, this player likes to go left. This player likes pick and roll. This player is a corner three shooter. This player runs the floor, and you game plan. This is what they do in the NBA.
Charlotte was fortunate. We talked about this. It's sad. We talk about this. Number one, first of all, it's the day after Thanksgiving, and you on the road. So that turkey still got you sluggish. But when the Knicks come to town, they are the hunted. You know, you go to Charlotte, Knicks fans cheering on the Knicks. There's more Knicks fans in the stands than the Hornets fans. So that's going to get the other team up. You go to Atlanta, there's more Knicks fans in the stand than Atlanta. You go to D.C., you heard them in Denver. You heard them in Dallas. So there's Knicks fans all over, and they're vocal because the Knicks fans want to win. So I think the Knicks can't go in there. They're like, okay, we can't take the Knicks lightly anymore. Last year, the Knicks put a lot of effort. I think they played above and beyond their talent. A lot of effort. This year, I think the Knicks got a both side on their back. Like every team is coming for the Knicks. So they get.
I don't know.
Tibbs is figuring it out. I don't know. I think
the Knicks don't have a bullseye on their back.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I don't think they have a bullseye.
The Knicks don't have a bullseye on their back. That's the thought of a Knicks fan because we think our team is the best team in the league.
No.
They don't have a bullseye on their back.
I'm not saying that they're the best team in the league. I'm saying the Knicks are coming to Washington to play the Wizards. Over half the stadium is Knicks fans. If I'm a Washington player, I was like, I'm gonna make sure you never come down here again. They go to Charlotte. You hear it on TV. The roar of the other crowds, the roar of the other like Knicks fans chatting, "Let's go Knicks." You heard it you heard it in Atlanta. You heard it in Miami. You heard it in Dallas. So to me, that gets the other teams like, wait a minute. No, we're going to show you not to come down here and cheer our team on. And that helps, even though that helps motivates the Knicks, I think that's also hope motivating the other team. It's hard. It's a long season, like you said, and it's hard for everybody to get up. But that will get me up. You know,
I'm going to share some stats with you from that Charlotte game because
if they have LaMelo, Knicks are losing that game.
So
it's one game.
So Brunson scored 31. Okay. Cat had 19. Okay. McBride off the bench, he's back, right, with 14. Right? Josh Hart, 13. No one else more than 10 points. Okay? So we got nothing out of Payne. Sims isn't even getting a putback these days, right? Jericho. He's not even getting a putback.
He's getting good cardio, though. He's running around a lot.
Yeah, but he's not getting a putback. Let's go. I mean, he's doing that whole I run to the block, to the block, to the block, to the block, to the block.
He's getting a good workout. This is working out. This is the gym.
He's getting that cardio.
Yeah, he's getting that cardio.
So my point is, without Brunson, without Hart, the Knicks aren't doing anything, right? So that's not, what's the coach doing to get that next player up? Who's that third guy that the coach is empowering to get 20 points? If you look at Charlotte, right? Charlotte only had one player at 20 points. Only one. We beat them by 1 point. So that means their role players are stepping up and competing. The rest of the players scored, right. So their role players are stepping up. They're empowered to compete. With Thibs right now, it's like, hey, Brunson, hey, Towns, and then everybody else just fit in.
I don't know. I don't know about that because they scored 145 points against Denver. I don't know about that. I think Tibbs, they're still trying to figure out. They're still trying to get that chemistry down. They still won the game. Hey, they held them underneath for 100 points. Talk about defense. Like I said, it seemed like they were just up for it. It was the 5th game of a road trip. That was a what do you call it? What do you call those games? The last game of road trip.
No, it was a trap game.
That was a trap. That could have been a trap game. That could have been a trap game. So it's still early,
but
man.
it's only a trap game because they were missing man, they were missing ball, right? So they were missing starters.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And we only won by 1.
It was a trap game.
That team and then truly became the hunted.
I think
we should have put our foot on their throat and said, "We're the New York Knicks, and you're not the same level caliber team as we are." And we couldn't do that.
They don't have that. They don't have it.
I think they have it. I think
right? We've been boasting.
It's like a mental thing. They have the talent.
I think it's just being over criticized with the Knicks. I mean, come on. It was the last game. It was the last game of a road trip. I'm like the day after Thanksgiving. To me, it was a trap game.
It's something that you can't discuss in their talent.
Right. It's trap game. Tibbs is still. I think the Knicks are fine. I think once they get it together, they're gonna go on an 8-9 game winning streak. They may lose 1 or 2, then they can do another 8-9 game winning streak. I think the Knicks are fine, man. This is every year with Tibbs. They go through this, and all of a sudden they make this run. Tibbs figures it out. He figures it out, and they're gonna make 1 or 2 trades, and they're gonna.
They shouldn't make any more trades.
And it's still early in the season, man. I'm like,
I have
know what kind of team we have.
I have a big question mark on my notes on Tibbs, right? Because you say he does this every year. He'll be fine. Yeah. We'll still get to the playoffs, right? You're 100% correct. Let's go all the way back to Chicago. He does this every year. Derrick Rose got worn out.
Worn out.
Jalen Brunson is getting worn out.
I think there's ball players on the Knicks who could score besides Jalen Brunson. This is Tibbs' style.
And that's my point. He's not adjusting to where,
okay, this
is his style. My point guard can't be my number 1 scorer if I'm going to win a championship.
I think what you're seeing between last year and this year, I remember watching games last year where the Knicks bench would score more than their starters.
Yes.
The Knicks bench last year was
that would happen a lot, actually. I think.
Yep. They got rid of those guys that were doing that, and the Knicks bench is not as deep as it used to be.
Yep.
Well, everybody's hurt, and the starters are better than me.
I don't know. Are there starters? Got one new person starting.
To me, the starters. No, they got more than one, but the starters
you win
are better.
Championships with your bench. You don't win them with your starters.
From the beginning of the year, I mean, it's still early. I mean, last year they was 11-8. This year they're 12.
And Charlotte can compete with us without 2 starters.
Without their superstar LaMelo Ball. If LaMelo Ball would have started that game, I'm sorry, the Knicks are losing by 11. I'd say maybe 12. Because he's not just a scorer; he's a passer too. And they didn't have Trey Mann. I forgot about that. If they had Trey Mann, might as well add 17 to that. Some BS, something bad.
This is the deal. The Knicks won. The Hornets lost. It was a trap game. I'm not one game day after Thanksgiving. Come on, they're already crying that they have to play on Thanksgiving. Now they're gonna cry they have to play the day after Thanksgiving.
But again, the Knicks they don't have that guy off the bench to give them that spark. Last year that was DiVincenzo. They don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
I like Payne and McBride at times.
Deuce is coming in.
Last year, you used to have McBride and DiVincenzo on the floor.
Yeah, but Payne coming in. But remember, DiVincenzo was great. DiVincenzo was great last year, but there was games where, he definitely disappeared. So,
well, that's why coming off the bench.
But it was okay for him to disappear last year, right?
Well, I want to say it's okay because when he disappeared, they didn't win.
But it wasn't okay for Cat and OG to disappear last game.
It's early, man. I'm not gonna.
Basketball is a repetition sport. It's a confidence sport. You got to keep it rolling.
Basketball is a long.
It is a long season.
The
could be
NBA is
judging
a
too fast.
long season.
Wait, can we do one thing? Can we ask Ray what he thinks?
And what?
Yeah, he ain't said nothing all day. Yeah.
What do you think about the Knicks right now? How do you think?
This is tough. Well, they're not as good as I think they are because I think they're great. Because if they're great, then they blow out the Hornets. So
That's what I think too.
Maybe if they was in the Garden. Maybe they was in the Garden.
When we turn our fan hats, when we take the fan hat off and we watch the game, we see the holes. We see the lack of chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said. Tibbs got to figure it out, and I believe Tibbs will figure it out. They will figure it out. I mean, how do you score 145 points last Wednesday, and then the day after Thanksgiving, you only score 99 points? There's something going on. The chemistry ain't right. I never seen Tibbs substitute. He's not playing the starters as long like he did last year. He's putting other players in. I think Tibbs is just trying to figure it out, and I think he will figure it out.
I'm sick of him figuring it out.
Well, it's beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Beginning of the season. I mean, look at this. Cleveland Cavaliers, they went undefeated. Who both of their losses come from? The Atlanta Hawks.
Can I say this? I feel like it's different.
It's like teams may have your number. It's still early in the season, and I think they'll figure it out.
Can I say this? I feel like it's different than figuring out and just not being the coach we think you are. Because I know this is a bad way to think about it, but JJ Redick, he's figuring things out. This is his first year as an NBA head coach. He has the Lakers in an okay position with a pretty good squad. Obviously, having LeBron and AD really clears things up and makes things easier for him. But I feel like he's actually figuring things out. Tibbs, you've played with these players before. You've had these players before. Like, the thing is, and it's not like these players don't know how to play with one each other, because we know they're Nova Knicks. And the only player that they haven't had that really together like that is OG and Cat, in my opinion.
I think you're right. I'm the last person to criticize a coach. But when we say that, he's playing his other players more, this year, okay, Brunson's got 34 minutes a game. Towns, 33.
Yeah.
OG, 36.
Okay.
Bridges, they're saying he's the Iron Man again. He's got 38 minutes a game. And then Hart has 37.
But this from last year, like you said, the eye test, he seems like he's substituting some players and he'll put them in, then he'll take them out. Tibbs is figuring it out.
What I'm saying, all of the starters are playing 33 plus minutes a game.
Yeah,
that's how injuries happen, and that's how you break down.
Yeah,
that's how injuries happen.
That's insane.
Listen, that's Tibbs' way.
There's only two players.
That's Tibbs'
I'm looking
way.
right now. There's only two players with over 10 minutes a game. Jericho Sims and Payne.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, but
now that tells me that I don't trust my bench, which also tells me that we're not developing players.
But Tibbs last year did the same thing with players. Last year before he did the same thing.
Right, so he's not getting better as a coach. He's same old Tibbs. So
I'm not going to
expect the same result in the playoffs.
But Tibbs is 2-time coach of the year.
That's okay. How many rings?
He doesn't have any rings. Not as a head
That's
coach.
That's what we want, right? New York, we want some rings.
So you're saying we need to get rid of Tibbs?
I'm saying he has to get better as a coach and adjust.
Yes. And I think
he's the best coach right now out there, and we should not even say those words about getting rid of him. So don't say that. That's craziness.
No,
he has to
get
better as a coach.
I'm not saying that.
He has to get better as a coach.
I think he's doing a great job.
Still leaning on our starters for 33 minutes a game, each,
that's Tibbs' way.
That's hell. That's how you get players injured.
Stop players get hurt.
Way, though.
You can't do it
last year. But he did it the year before.
So you get players injured, They're professionals. They'll take care of their body. But that's how you kill confidence and you don't build consistency from those other players. They need those game reps. They need those game scenarios.
Those other players,
you can't have that NBA cardio riding a bike.
the other players are role players, man. They're not starters.
They're not role players.
And that's how you win games with those role players. You win games with those role players.
That's
No
why
matter
they got
what.
rid of- That's why DiVincenzo, they traded him because he didn't want to take a role. He wanted to be a starter.
So let's talk about
Because
last
you
year.
probably wouldn't-
Who was our role players last year?
Well, you got to understand,
Dante.
everybody got hurt.
Precious.
No.
They got hurt,
Who were
so-
our role players last year? We had Hartenstein.
DiVincenzo.
We had
DiVincenzo,
Dante.
Hartenstein, right.
After the trade, right? Before the
Right.
trade, we still had Quickly, right? We had Quickly up, and then we had RJ.
Yeah, RJ was a starter.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he was still a role player.
But can I say this? Can I say
He
this?
was a starter,
I
but
just
they traded RJ for Quickly
And we
for
had
OG.
Toppin.
For OG.
Toppin
we had
was good too. Toppin was good. He was better than we thought he was.
Toppers and Tibbs did not get
We
along.
just named 4 role players from last year.
Toppers
Yeah,
and Tibbs.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wait.
He's right.
We just named 4 role players from last year.
They traded Barrett and they traded Quickly. Barrett wasn't having a great year with the Knicks last year.
Toppin
And they got OG.
and
I
Toppin.
think the Knicks are fine. I don't understand. There's a lot of Knicks fans. Oh, they're horrible. They're not doing well. I think they're just figuring it out, man. I'm not saying I like where they're at, but I don't think they're still trying to figure it out.
Can I say this?
You got Cat. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, I was just going to say this. I think that Ramon is completely right, and with what we're doing with our starters compared to our role players, you don't win. Obviously, you win based on your starters, but your role players and your bench players are the second most important thing besides that. And we're expecting too much from a starting 5 that is obviously underproducing, and a coach that is overplaying his players. So it's not. Tibbs definitely has to step up the rotation and find a way to make players a little better than how they are.
Underproducing. I really don't. But
I think the Knicks stars are underproducing. Like
They 100% are. They 100%
that's why I think they're
are.
underproducing.
I don't think so.
And I think that Tibbs is still trying to rely on them when he doesn't realize you have to switch it around. Maybe if you give some players less minutes and more, you can maybe like find a way to change the way they think of the game. That's what I'm saying.
So let's think of it this way.
I'm not going to
Bridges-
say they're underproducing because the Knicks are fourth in offense.
Well, I can say they're underproducing. You know why? 5
fourth in
first-round
offense.
draft picks.
They're fourth in offense. The
5
problem is that they're not defensively. They are 17th in defense compared
and
to
5
last year.
first-round draft picks.
Last year they was number 2 in defense.
What do your role players do?
The role players come in for relief of the starters.
No, they play a role.
Well,
Yeah, they're relieving the starters.
Defense. Hustle. Get it to your
Okay.
stars.
Okay, the NBA may have 3 or 4 defensive specialists that start.
Team
Not
defense.
everybody.
It's team defense.
That's what I just said.
That's what your
They're
role
hurting
players
on
are there
defense.
for.
17th. They're hurting on defense. They're 17th. Last year they was number 2.
Why are they hurting on defense?
They just ain't got it together right now on defense. I don't know why. I wish I had that answer.
I do. We're giving it to you. Isaac and I are giving you that answer.
What is it?
Their role players aren't playing. They don't have the opportunity. The starters
Okay.
are
Yeah, they're
playing
not
too
playing.
many
That's exactly what it
minutes.
is.
So let me
The
ask
starters
you
are playing
something.
let me finish
Let
the
me ask
point
you
before you
something.
ask your question.
No.
The
You
starters
said the
are
role
playing
players
too
are not
many
playing.
minutes. The starters are playing too many minutes. Their legs are dead. So they don't have role players to come in for those minutes to
Okay.
actually lock up, to actually run the floor.
I think you're. I don't agree with it.
I think he's
I
completely
listen
right.
to your point, but they are 4th in offense in the NBA. The Knicks are 4th in offense in the NBA. Last year they were 19th.
Do you
So
know,
it's a flip flop between the offense and defense. So if the role players are not playing, why are they 4th in offense? So it's the starters that are making them fourth in offense,
Yes.
not the role players.
Right. I have their numbers right here actually. So right now, Cat is averaging 25, Brunson
Yep.
averaging 25,
Yep.
OG 17,
Okay.
Bridges 15. He should be averaging 20.
I think 15's
Okay.
cool, but yeah. I think
15's
20.
Hart
good.
is
You got two-
averaging
you got two-
14. Hart's averaging 14 points a game. Okay.
Okay.
There's one bench player averaging 10 points or more, and it's McBride's only averaging 10. That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
So they're better offensively than defensively.
And they don't have their role player. So now, even if you talk about, all right, so you need a role player to come off the bench to do something, they only have one player averaging 10 rebounds a game, and it's Cat.
Okay. Mitch
So
Robinson.
right now, they don't have team chemistry. They have two stars, and they don't have anyone else. You know,
but Mitch Robinson is hurt. Persia Achua is hurt. They're gonna be back here.
And they're always going to be hurt. They've been hurt for 2 years.
Right. Well, they for some reason Tibbs wants them. Reason Tibbs wants them.
I think what
Persia Achua is still here. I mean, those are Mitch Robinson is a starter. So when he comes back, he'll start at center. Cat will go to what? Power forward?
the power, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. OG will be what? The shooting forward?
Yep.
Who will be McCall and Brunson will be the starters, or will McCall come? Or
When Mitch comes back, he's not going to be a starter. He's going to come off the bench.
I think Mitch will be a starter.
I think
Well,
he's right.
He won't be in.
No, he's right. He's right.
He won't be in shape yet.
I just realized he's right. They're not going to come back after all these long injuries and put Mitch back in the position he just was in.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason he's coming back, he said he came back too early from his last injury last year. So they're taking their time. To
I
bring
say
him
you
in.
still give him time to warm up. We could start him as a bench player, but maybe move him to the starter.
No.
But
But that's why he won't be back to the end of January. They said
Well,
he's going.
So I think this is what I'm saying. And again, I'm probably the least versed in basketball here, but from the few games I've seen.
I'm watching the Knicks game right now.
Okay. So from the few games I've seen.
And what's the score?
They
What's the
play
score?
New Orleans.
No, what's the score?
Hey, Cat just got a turnover in the paint. They're
Okay, what's
crushing
the
New
score?
Orleans.
That's my question. What's the score?
Hey, they're crushing New Orleans, and Brunson just took a charge, but it was a block. They're being
what's the
warned. The two
score?
guys.
What's
They're
the
crushing New
score?
Orleans. They're crushing them 14-3.
Okay, so I guess they're not playing defense.
That game just started, then.
I
Yeah,
guess
the
they're not
game
playing
just
defense.
That game just
They're not
just
playing
started.
defense, though, right?
No.
But so that game just started though. So
They're not playing defense. It's just
They're
New
not.
Orleans sucks. New
I'm
Orleans
watching
just
the game.
sucks.
The shots aren't falling.
I'm watching the game too.
but this
I'm
is
watching.
what I've
watching it.
seen.
I'm
in the
watching
few
right
games
now.
I
That's why I
played.
asked you what the score is.
But this is what I've seen in a few games that I
early.
played, and I think both of y'all are making legitimate points, right? What I've seen this year from the Knicks, one, they're not dominating any teams outside of the game today and the one against Denver, right? They're not blowing these teams out.
Oh,
And
they
so
blew out Denver.
well, that's what I'm saying. Except for Denver and what Ray just mentioned just now,
Yeah.
they're not blowing these teams out.
Did they?
So Tibbs is having to play his starters a long time because they can't take a dominant lead where he can pull them out.
Yeah.
And so I'm not even calling role players because I don't really think the Knicks have any role players. They have bench players, but they don't have role players. They don't have anyone who they're going to come in and they're going to say, yo, I need you to go in and you're going to have to hit 3 threes to get this game tight. They don't have that. They have
Or
someone who
lock
can come
down
in and
or
play.
grab some rebounds.
Right. They don't have that. They have someone who come in and play guard, but, not someone who they can say, hey, I need you to take over a game. But let me finish real quick, though. Let me finish real quick.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, I watch some of these other teams play, right? And they know, hey, Trey, you're gonna play 10 minutes, and I'm pulling you. Somebody else is coming in, right? They're managing the minutes that their players are playing. They're expecting certain play out of them, but they know when they're gonna pull them out. Tibbs doesn't have that. He's not doing that. And I think you're right. You're running these players to until they get hurt, and then they're gonna start getting hurt towards the end of the year. when you need them most. So he's got to get these guys in, but I don't know if he has faith in the guys he had on the bench like he did last year.
Yeah, I don't think Tibbs just likes his starters. He does. This is what he's done. He did it in Chicago, Minnesota. He's doing New York. He plays his starters at least 33, 34 minutes a game. Towns, when he came over, he said, "Oh, I already know how Tibbs play. You're gonna play the whole game." So it's his style. He's been coach of the year 2 times. I like Tibbs. I don't think he's gonna adjust the way he coaches. I just don't think he is. I don't think he is. I wish OB played a lot more games last year before he got traded. It seemed like he didn't want to develop him. Some reason they didn't get along. I don't think they got along.
It's not no. It's not that get along part. It's what you're saying that you love about him. He's going to play his starters and run them to the ground.
But for some reason,
I also think Obi didn't fit into the offense Tibbs wanted to run.
So. Right. He does. So look at what Bridges does. That's exactly the role that Toppin played. He ran the floor, and he got to that corner. That's exactly the role that Toppin played.
But I think Toppin was more of a he worked on his 3. He started hitting his 3.
I was gonna say he wasn't a great shooter. So
he wasn't a great shooter, but that's the position that he played.
Slasher, though. He was
and that's what he ran.
He was a slasher. He could intimidate with some of his dunks. I just don't think he fell in like Sam was saying, in Tibbs style. Mikal Bridges is more of a mid-range guy, shooter. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting when Mitch Robinson comes back. Who's gonna be the starting 5, and are we gonna have another chemistry issue?
Even when Mitch Robinson comes back, right? You get better defensively. You're grabbing more rebounds, but you still have an issue, and that is when Jalen Brunson is off the floor. Who is running the offense and who is scoring?
Right,
and that's the problem. And you don't have that on the team this year.
You're right, but this is what brings me back to my previous point. This is why we needed Randall over Cat. And we'll see what we can do.
Oh, get out of here, man. This is what
he did. He was the point forward. Point forward. So now who's orchestrating this offense? Is it Josh Hart?
I think Mikal probably is going to take over that position. I don't think Randall's really a point forward, but he did. He was a good assist guy.
Mikal can't handle the rock. He's not a facilitator. He's a catch and shoot guy. He's a 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull up guy. He's not an orchestrate the offense guy.
I think look at Cat's numbers, man. He got 25 points a game, 12 rebounds. 3 assists a game.
We're not talking about the numbers, though. We're talking about the flow of the team.
This year, Randall got 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, and he got 4 assists a game. So they're even. I think it's just even. Everything's even with Randall and Cat. I think Cat just gives you a little bit extra than Randall. That's all I'm saying. I think he was a higher percent shooter. I think Cat is better than Julius Randle.
We're talking about who's going to help run this offense so that Brunson doesn't get beat up in the playoffs.
Well, I think I asked that question. Do we digress to Brunson all the time? Do we leave it up to Brunson all the time? Give him the ball, let him shoot.
That's Tom's way of doing things since Chicago.
Okay. That's how the game is going to be. He's going to want that point guard to be shooting, passing point guard. That's how it's going to be. You have to fit, like they say the wide receivers got to get on the quarterback's page. With the Knicks,
it's still early. They've played 20 games.
Right, it's early.
They haven't even played a quarter of the season yet.
Right.
They've only played 20 games.
The 20 games, you basically see, okay, what's good about your team, what's bad about the team, what we definitely got to improve on. So
They're almost at a quarter of the season, though. So
yeah, it's a quarter. Yeah,
it's first season.
So
Yeah.
you kind of see where you at. So
I think the coaching staff had the conversation that we just had with the Knicks about the Charlotte game, that they should have crushed Charlotte, and Charlotte shouldn't have even had a chance to compete because they're doing that to New Orleans, which is a similar team.
but
So they had that wake up, like, what the heck are we doing here?
yeah, but this is what I think. The day after Thanksgiving, they went home. They went to eat. They came back to the road. It's the day after Thanksgiving, man. They're on the road. Now they're home. They've been home a couple of days. They're playing a bad team, and they're running them out the building.
What's his name playing for New Orleans still? Big guy on New Orleans.
Zion?
Zion's hurt again.
Yeah, Zion.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt
again. He's always hurt.
He's always hurt, and then here's how the New York media works too. If you want to know who the Knicks are playing the next week, you'll see that this XYZ player wants to come to the Knicks.
well, Zion wanted to come to the Knicks when RJ Barrett was there. His friend.
Well, no, there were headlines already that, Zion is thinking about coming to the Knicks.
Yeah, but
that's how I knew they were playing New Orleans before I even checked the schedule.
Well, Zion said that
he's hurt
before the season started. His agents, he wanted to trade.
I wouldn't get him.
And he blamed his agency. But the Knicks are not going to take Zion.
Hey, the Knicks have 3 key players or players that we want to be key players injured now. We can't get another guy that's always going to be injured.
Yeah, but the Knicks
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they wasn't going to take Zion. I mean, that's the talk from the draft. So, and to be honest, he's playing New Orleans. We all been to New Orleans, and New Orleans is about football, man. The basketball team's not going to get much love down there. Yeah, they're all about the Saints and the LSU Tigers. The basketball team's not going to get much love down there. I bet if the Knicks play in New Orleans, be more Knicks fans in there, and we could get courtside seats easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. So he may not like that atmosphere. I'm sure he's loving that New Orleans food.
He look like he is. So
I'm sure he's enjoying the food, but
that's why he keep getting hurt. He's too heavy.
Yeah, he wants that. He's not. Well, if he comes to the Knicks, it won't be at that price and his contract price.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add about the Knicks?
No, man, they're going to keep entertaining us. We just got to find a way to develop Payne into this offense. He's the only healthy guard that we can get in there.
Yeah, I wish myself I like big guards. I like guards, like Mikal, 6'6", 6'4". But, we don't have them. We have McBride. We have Brunson. Josh Hart would be a nice size for a point guard. So they got to work it out. Cam, Payne, he shows up once in a while. I think he does a pretty good job. I think his role is just to back up, hit some threes, and hopefully play some defense. They're playing some defense now, but like we were saying, New Orleans they're not the best team. I don't know what happened to New Orleans, but they're not the best team. It's still early, man. It's still early.
They lost Josh Hart.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because they had Josh Hart. Yeah, they had a little. Yeah, that's right. So with the Knicks, I think Tuesday they play the Magic for the Cup to win their group. The winner of that wins the group of the Emirates Cup.
So that might be a real marquee game because Orlando's playing really well. They developed their young guys pretty well.
Orlando's good. Is what's his name playing? Is he hurt or he's playing? Montrero? What's his name? From the Magic. They're forward.
Paulo.
Paulo. Yeah, Paulo. Yeah, I mean, the Magic. They they've been down for a while, and they develop their players. So
Yeah.
one thing about the Magic, they draft well, but they've been out of it for what 10, 12 years also. But they the cup game should be pretty good. Seems like Mikal Bridges hitting all his threes now, so home cooking is good. And I'm not gonna even entertain the Charlotte game. I'm like, yep, Thanksgiving game. Day after Thanksgiving. What's worse, playing on Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving? So I like the Knicks' chances this year. I think
I do want to. So we got to entertain Charlotte if we're going to entertain Denver. But with Charlotte, I'm okay with a 1-point win if our other guys are getting their burn.
it's not gonna happen with Tibbs. We know that. We know that.
Like they're letting Payne cook right now. He's getting extended minutes with Brunson on the bench.
Yeah, because they got the lead.
But Brunson's the only one on the bench.
Yeah. But isn't that Tibbs? How many games that the Knicks are up by 20, he'll take Brunson out or he'll take Cat out, but he leave everybody else in?
Well, no. They don't come out until 3 minutes left.
Right, that's what I mean. That's Tibbs, man. So I don't know why he's like that. He's always been that way. I thought Deuce, well, maybe the injury kind of slowed him down, whatever his injury was. Because I know in the preseason he looked pretty good. I was like, okay, Deuce.
He looks good. Every game he looks good.
Yeah, he looked good hitting his threes.
He's elevating. I've seen him dunk a few times. So he's showing that knee is not a problem right now.
So, well, he couldn't dunk right there, but.
Hey, is it on NBA channel or is it on regular TV?
MSG. Yeah.
See, I can't get
But he Deuce got to step it up. I like big guards though, tall guards. I'll be. We'll see. Brunson's the MVP, dude. So just like Derrick Rose was,
It's a little early. It's a
Brunson's
little early.
the MVP of the Knicks. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure his scoring is going to go up even more.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, this game you might want to rest some of your players. I don't know how much vocal leader Brunson is, but it seems like everybody's kind of getting along with each other. And I think once Cat really gets that chemistry going with them, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Even OG still coming on from last year. They all gonna fit in fine. So but honestly, I'm looking higher than a 4th seed this year in the East. I think.
And you got to think about last year, right? All of that was determined by like one game. So
Randall got hurt. Injuries hurt him because I think got 2nd seed or 3rd seed, but injuries got him.
Yeah, but the Knicks win that game, they're the number 1 seed. They lost it, so they were the 4th seed. So
but because of injuries, man. Yeah, injuries. I think they should be at a minimum.
I don't know.
The 3rd seed at a minimum. The 3rd seed.
We'll see
in the East.
I don't see it. I see 4th seed again.
Then that would be
after All-Star break, we'll see if our injuries clear up and we can get some more players in there, some more defensive players. Yeah,
you're seeing 4th seed again, but again, last year it came down to that last week, and it was dependent on who won those last games. And if the Knicks would have won, they would have been the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but Randall got hurt.
We're 3 games outside the 3rd seed.
Yeah, Randall got hurt. It's too early, and I'm just saying. I think if they don't get, to me, it should be 3rd seed or higher, or it'd be kind of disappointing season. I think they're right. I think the Knicks are gonna be great. It's too early.
It is still too early.
So right now, the Knicks are trying to figure it out. So I'm looking at the last 10 games from a bunch of teams in the East, right? So I'm just gonna highlight real quick the Bucks because they started out dreadful, right?
They did.
They started out dreadful. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Okay.
Right. The Magic 9-1, the Celtics 9-1, and then we know Cleveland started out on a tear. They went 15-0.
Yeah.
Right. 16-0.
something like
But
that.
they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. So the Knicks are 7-3 in their last 10 games as well.
Yeah.
So there's a pace that we got to keep up. We got to win the easy games convincingly, get our starters off the floor in the fourth quarter. Like you were saying earlier, Sam, we need to blow out some teams to get those guys some rest. And if
Or
we
at
can
least
do
take big
that,
enough leads, like tonight's game, right? You
right?
you up 14-3. You need to
But
rest
But
your players.
but
but we
Tibbs
got
gonna 3 minutes,
we
2
got 4
minutes left.
starters
That's
in.
when he pulled everybody out. It's
We're up
Tibbs.
20 with 4 starters still in.
Yeah.
Right?
So you need to be resting your starters right now.
Yeah, we should be up 20 with 3 starters in or 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He doesn't do that.
But I think Cleveland's going to fall apart. Hopefully,
Um,
I don't know if so. Orlando's playing really well, but I don't think they have the experience to keep it up. So maybe
yeah,
maybe.
all good. It's Boston, it's the Knicks, it's Orlando, it's Cleveland. It's gonna be a battle right there.
But we need to be out of that play-in position.
Yeah, if Knicks go, what's it? Top 6 are in, then you got the rest play in. So I
Yep.
think, to me, top 3. That's why I'm looking for the Knicks at top 3. You know, we want players to play, but Tibbs, you have a 20-point lead. Oh, you didn't switch off on defense. I don't care we're up by 21 points. You're staying in the game till you get it right. That's Tibbs, man. I don't know.
So, well, no, Tibbs does it the other way. I think he goes, "You're staying it in because if you can't do it, I know they can't do it."
It's the same thing. Same thing. It's the same thing.
So it's so right now he did sub out Karl Anthony Towns. We're up 20, but he put Brunson back in.
that's what he does.
I think that's okay though.
He just keeps both of them in the game. One of them has to be in the game.
But he didn't take out OG. He didn't take out. You see what I'm saying?
I
Like
told you, that's Tibbs. That's Tibbs. That's when you come to the Knicks,
OG will
get
come out
ready to
next.
play 40 minutes a game every game.
so
OG
you
will
know
come
what
out
he's
next.
doing actually? He's coaching this professional team like it's a high school varsity team. I got to
I'm
keep
gonna say
one of my 2 guys on the court the whole time.
I don't
The
know.
whole
I don't know
time.
about that.
I don't think
that.
I don't think
I
there's
know
anything
about
wrong
it
with that.
because I'm watching these college games and I'm watching these varsity high school games, and it's the NBA, but he's keeping 1 star in at all times because he doesn't want that lead to drop.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
We'll see. I'm not okay with it right now, so early in the season. I'm
As
okay
long
with
as-
it after All-Star break.
As long as you're resting them. Like, I mean, it sounds like Jalen just got almost 10 minutes of rest.
All right.
He almost the whole half the second quarter.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
that's
who you want in the
Cat's
game?
gonna get
more?
that now. Cat's gonna get that rest now.
Yeah.
He's got to get Kolick in the game.
Who you want in the game? You want
He's got
Brunson
to
in the
get
game at
Kolick
the
in the
end.
game.
You want Brunson in the game at the end. So let's rest them. You gonna play Josh Hart? They know. That's what I'm saying. Tibbs is figuring out. He's figuring out how long should I rest these guys. So injuries this really hurt him last year.
Yeah.
Injuries
You
really
know
hurt
what
him.
I want to see from the Knicks what we see from these other teams when we play them sometimes. When this no-name guy has his best game ever because his coach has given him time. I want to see
I
that
don't know.
from our guys.
I don't know. To me, it goes
I
back
want a taste of Linsanity from somebody.
to.
Right? Just
But
give
you
him
know-
one game where this role player, this bench guy who plays 5 minutes a game, it's his birthday, right? You get him in there and you let him cook a little bit.
But you
A
know-
taste of Linsanity from somebody.
From somebody on the Knicks or somebody from another team?
Oh, on the Knicks.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant somebody from another. Okay.
No,
who-
I'm saying we see it
who
from other
can-
teams
yeah.
all the time.
Who? Yeah. Who would that be? I think they gave Jericho Sims enough time, and he's like
He
4
doesn't
years.
have
It's
a
like,
choice. Right? Cat has to come off the court, right?
right. So what's the name of the other dude?
Kolick
Who's the
has to
other-
play.
Yeah.
He has to get better.
No,
He
who's the
has to,
back? Who's the center? Who's the other center for the Knicks besides Sims? I think he wears uh
do we
55.
have one?
Stein's old number. I gotta
Do
look
we
that
have
up.
one?
Yeah, man, we got one. You know we got one. Yeah, they blown him out, double team, double digit score.
Yeah,
So
TV timeout.
the other player,
He was giving him some minutes. I don't know if he's hurt or not, or if he fell out of favor. The African guy,
right, you know who I'm talking about, right?
the 55.
Right. He took Hammerstein's old number.
I can't pronounce his name.
Is it Hooker Porty?
It's
Yeah,
not
Hooker
this
Porty.
guy. This guy.
No, T.
Yeah,
Hooker Porty.
Ariel.
Yeah. So
I don't know if he's hurt or not, but he's he had the crowd started liking that guy because he was rebounding, he was getting putbacks.
he was a hustle player. Hustle player.
You remember the crowd started liking him.
Yeah, 6'11", 245, man.
Crowd started liking him for the first 5-6 games of the year, and then he disappears.
I don't understand this Tibbs, man. So that dude, he's 50% field goal percentage, 9.7 minutes a game. Then they don't show him no more.
Let me just stop you there, though.
But his free throwing is only 50%.
You say 50% field goal percentage. He averaged 1 point a game.
Yeah, because but his because his free throws.
So he missed. He hit a free throw and missed one.
Right, he averaged 1.3 a game, but his field throw percentage is 50%. So maybe that's why he's not getting no run because like when they foul you, you're gonna miss the shot. So he's a hustle player. I mean, who knows how long he's played basketball in college, and maybe that's why Tibbs. I don't know. I figured Jericho Sims will be able to dominate. I think they gave him opportunity after opportunity to be a backup center, and he's failed to come through. I like the fact that he's athletic as hell.
Yeah.
He could jump out the gym, but it's like sometimes
I don't think he failed though. He's developing, and they're using him as that energy guy, and they're just not putting him in enough pick and rolls to be that guy that you go up and throw it up to. Because his role is just to be a defensive presence and to grab rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's his 4th year.
But that's still his role. That's what the NBA does to players.
I know.
They will have you thinking that somebody can't shoot. They'll have you thinking that somebody can't dribble.
Jericho can't shoot.
But my point is they'll have you thinking that a guy can't do a certain thing because that guy's being the ultimate teammate and doing the role that the coach puts him in.
Yeah, but Jericho kind of looks lost sometimes. But then sometimes when he does do the pick and roll and the slam and the putback slam and jam, he looks real good. And I wish he would just be more naturally aggressive when he gets the ball off the rim and just slam it, or just put it back, get a foul. But then again, his free throw shooting percentage is not the best. And you see, and Brunson's still in the game. They got a 25-point lead. 25-point lead, and he's still in the game.
Hart's still in the game.
Hart's
still in the game.
Right.
I would take them out.
You're winning by 30.
I would rest him.
4 minutes
I
to
would rest
go
him
in the
until that
second
lead
quarter.
gets down to 10.
But this is
4
what
minutes to
Tibbs
go in the
do.
second quarter, and Brunson is just cooking.
So is Tibbs the problem?
I know you're coming around. We're going to work on you saying yes first.
No, it's the problems. It's the problem.
I think, I would rest these guys, come out the half until the lead is down to 10.
Well,
and then I'll put them back
you
in.
got 15.
Right.
NBA is 15.
It Tibbs, I trust. Look at in Milwaukee, Doc Rivers. They started out terrible. Then they're what? They're 10-2 now or 7-2.
You were hating on Doc last week, though.
Yeah, I still hate on him. Because I think Doc, all that talent he had in Boston, he should have won more than one championship.
Doc is like Tibbs. They don't know how to make adjustments.
I like
But
Tibbs.
But I like Tibbs' offense. He knows how to do his thing.
Okay, this is a question I have of Knicks that I do have questions and concerns about it. The inbound plays. When it's 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, less than 1 minute, coming out of timeout, it seems like they can't get the inbounds play to work. What's the deal on that?
What are you talking about? Like half court under their basket?
Regardless.
Well, no, there's different strategies.
Regardless.
It's not regardless.
Yeah,
No,
it's
he's saying it
regardless.
doesn't matter where it's at. They're still
Yeah,
having
it
an
doesn't
issue.
matter whether it's half court, under the
We saw
basket,
one
at
game.
the timeout.
That
seems like they
happened one
lost.
game.
They seem like they lost on the inbound passes when
No,
the games are close.
it happened one game. You don't look to score off of an inbound. You look to get the ball in. It just happened one game.
You're not listening. You're not
I
listening.
heard you. It's
No.
not. It's a non-issue.
It is an issue. They have issues inbounding the ball when the game's tight.
That
I've
was
seen
one
it too many
game.
times. No, it's more than one game. It's more than one game. It was like that last year. So I don't know what the deal is with the inbound calls. I see it all the time. Under the basket, half court, out of a timeout. They're having it. Oh, we got to call another timeout. I'm like, dog, didn't you just set up a play?
No, he didn't set up a play. He's an NBA coach. They're big. They get position. They throw it up, and that's it. And then they run an action after the first pass.
So my question's not answered.
Maybe that's the problem.
There you go.
The NBA.
That's the problem.
That's not the
Maybe
problem. That's how it's drawn up. So
You-
the NBA. So this
You're
is how.
you're telling me that it's not drawn up then.
I'm telling you, this is how you inbound the ball in the NBA and college. You put your players in a spot. Seldom do you run rub actions, okay? Seldom do you do that. The first play is to get it to a player who's just getting position, jockeying, posting, and you're getting the ball to them that way. It's the player's job to get the ball in and to secure it. The second actions are the plays, where you get the rub or screen away or you get a pin down. So this isn't, youth elementary school where you're doing all these cuts and all this stuff to get somebody open. This is big boy basketball where you just throw it up to the guy who's 6'9". They grab the ball at the high post, and then if they want to do a handoff or a rub play after that,
I
it's
understand
there.
what you say.
Nothing has to do with the coaching in terms of inbounding.
It seems like the Knicks have a problem inbounding the ball.
They don't.
All right, you say
No,
they don't.
you said it seems like Tibbs is not drawing up a good play. It has nothing to do with what he's drawing up. It has everything to do with if there's any mishap.
So when they have a timeout, they show him grabbing the clipboard, and he's writing on the clipboard during the timeout.
The first action is up to the player. It's the second and third actions that are the scoring actions.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I study tape. You gotta study tape.
Okay.
You gotta study tape. You gotta watch the film. You gotta pause, rewind 30 times a game.
Okay.
Ask this guy.
No, well,
I don't care. I don't care if it's
they have issues.
I'm just saying. We're watching a D3 college game, and I'm pausing and I'm rewinding to watch the actions happen.
Okay, well,
it's Alcorn State versus.
Since you always talk about the eye test, My eye test is say, why are they having difficulties inbounding the ball?
It was one game, non-issue.
I've seen more than one game. I've seen more than one game.
And you know, we'll talk about this in a little bit. But yeah. We'll see it. We'll see the tight games, and we'll see what happens.
I've seen it all the time, but we'll see. I think the Knicks are pretty good this year. I think so far, Tibbs will figure it out. He will play his players to death. We know that.
Yep.
Well, nothing's going to change.
But I'm glad they're crushing the team they should be crushing right now.
They're
CJ
home.
McCollum's a vet, but he's over the hill, so I don't know. He's not over the hill. CJ, I didn't mean that. I just meant he's their vet, and he still needs his full team. You know, he needs Zion. I thought he was going to go to New Orleans and be that guy, and it just didn't work out.
They made a good run for the playoffs, but Zion got hurt and somebody else got hurt. I forgot who else.
Yeah.
So they're just struggling this year because CJ was one of my favorite players for a while when he was in Portland.
So I like what Knicks doing. I'm still rooting for Towns. Thinking Knicks are better off with Towns than Randall. And the season's still early. Only 19 games have been played. So I'm all in. I think the Knicks,
always all in.
I think
we're just hoping. I'm hoping you love Tom, but I'm thinking Coach Thibodeau needs to work in those bench players, those guys who we know, are, player number 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 on the roster right now. We know that's who they are because those other guys are hurt.
Hey, those guys ain't gonna get no run, man. You know that. You know that.
But that's who they are.
You know
Well,
that.
and unless
That's
you
who
think,
they are.
and unless you think the Knicks are worse than half the teams in the East, they're gonna make the playoffs anyway. So because everybody makes the playoffs in the NBA.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, yeah. Come on. The Knicks always had a 6 to 7 man rotation. That's it. You're gonna have to get on Tibbs' page, and he's just gonna use Brunson. Brunson's the MVP. Brunson's gonna be. I could say even by the end of the year, even though he's averaging 25 now, I think that's gonna go up to like 27, 28, 29. I think Brunson's gonna go on a run like he did last year, where he gets 40, 45, 46, 50 points a game. That's the way Tibbs is going to have it. He's not going to complain as long as they're playing some defense. I think it's all about chemistry, man. It's still too early. They have the same record from last year. And they have get that chemistry going again.
Yeah.
So they're showing Bridges highlights right now. Catch and shoot 3, 2 dribble pull off up the dribble handoff, spot up 3.
That's what he did.
We need someone else to help when Brunson needs those breaks. We need to pull Brunson off.
So who's the backup point?
Brunson needs to
Isn't it McBride?
Who's the
Brunson
backup
needs to play 30 minutes a game. If he can play 30 minutes a game,
it's not going to happen.
If we can get him off the court for 5 more minutes, the Knicks go to the finals.
Okay. They blowing out New Orleans right now, but
the Knicks go to the finals.
Who is the backup point guard?
We don't have
McBride.
It's McBride is, but McBride's a scorer. He's a scorer.
Okay. What about who's the backup point? Who was the backup point guard last year?
It was Quickly and McBride.
Okay, who's the point? Both of them share the point guard duties?
Yeah, it was Quickly and McBride. So here's how the Knicks ran their offense last year. In the first half of the year, it was Brunson, and then it was
Quigley. Is it Quigley?
Number 9. Jesus Christ.
Barrett.
It was RJ.
Oh, RJ Barrett. Okay,
and Quickly. Handling the ball, facilitating. Right?
Okay, so
And then in fourth quarters, it was Brunson and Randall.
Okay. Well, I think we need to get off last year. Last year's done. Randall only played 46 games last year. He got hurt. We wish he didn't get hurt. When he got hurt, you saw that the Knicks kind of went down and everybody.
Somebody asked the question, who do we have last year?
Yeah, but everybody had to play up more to their game when Randall got hurt. And the Knicks, they really played head above what everybody thought. They really, really played outstanding, above what they were talented.
Mm-hmm.
But that's last year, man. That's it's done. It's done. We got to figure out this year. We got Cat. We got Brunson. Both of them 25 points a game. The assists are starting to add up some games, but they're still figuring it out. And going on a 5-game West Coast trip or a 5-game road game trip at the beginning of the season, that kind of tests you, don't you think? I mean,
Again,
Under
you know
Tom.
that under 4 years under Tom. That's right.
Mhm.
Thibodeau ain't changing. Hey, Thibodeau, I trust. Thibodeau, I trust. You know.
So the way the NBA goes is you have a 8 to 9 man rotation until after the All-Star break, and then it's a 7 to 8 man rotation, and then the playoffs come, and it's a 7-man rotation, and whoever needs a breather.
Okay, Thibodeau has a 6 to 7 man rotation. I don't know about the 8 and 9.
All year long.
I don't know about the 8. I ain't think about the rest of the NBA. We
All
gotta
year long.
you gotta go all year long.
Yep.
You know, this how Thibodeau is. And I think the Knicks players say, hey, we gotta play these minutes and we're built for it. You gotta remember back in the day, you know, that's how Pat Riley ran his teams. They were physically in shape to play 48 minutes straight.
Pat played his bench.
Who do you play? Mason, maybe?
No,
Mason?
he played his bench fully until the late 90s when we didn't have a bench.
Well, he didn't coach the Knicks. He didn't coach the Knicks in the late 90s.
Well, you know what I mean, when he left.
I think he just played.
I call the late 90s like 96. Like, until he got out of there, until Van Gundy took over, Van Gundy didn't have a deep bench.
I think Riley always had a 7-man rotation. But one thing about Pat Riley, even with the Lakers, you're gonna be in shape to play 48 games twice a day, 48 minutes twice a day, NBA game. So I think Tibbs is cut from that cloth. Hey, Knicks, they want to play, and I don't think there's nobody complaining except for the bench players. Hey, I would love to make the Knicks and be the 12th or 13th guy. Hey, I'm getting paid millions of dollars to watch the greatest basketball players play in the world. I'll be the practice monster. I'll make them practice hard.
Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the Knicks roster under Riley. Because it could be my I just remember knowing every player on the Knicks.
But you got to remember the Knicks back then substituted a lot of players. Like a lot of people don't remember Doc Rivers played for the Knicks.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people don't remember Greg Anthony was a great guard for the Knicks, but he was defensive specialist, 3-guy defensively.
91 to 95.
Right. X-Man, Xavier McDaniel played for the Knicks. Oakley, you know, who they remember. Knicks only had really one superstar. That was Pat Ewing.
Yeah.
So he was everything for the Knicks. So you know, we had H2O. He got hurt the first $100 million contract, man. So you know, and people may get mad at me what I say. When Isaiah Thomas was the GM and the head coach of the Knicks, I think he really didn't do a good job.
Well, let's go back though. You said that even Pat didn't play his bench, right? So that's why I was looking up.
I don't remember him playing his bench that long. I mean, I'm just saying.
So here was the 94-95 roster. Okay.
Okay.
Greg Anthony.
Right.
Anthony Bonner.
Oh yeah, I've got Anthony Bonner.
Doug Christie. Doug Christie started somewhat. Hubert Davis. Pat.
Yeah, Hubert Davis.
Derek Harper.
Yeah.
Mason. Oakley. You had Doc.
Yeah.
Charles Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Starks. Charlie Ward. Herb Williams, of course. And Monty Williams. Okay?
Yeah.
You know all those names. Why? Because they played, and we got to cheer for them. There's two guys that I didn't mention.
I don't think it's because they played. It's because I was a Knicks fan. I was gonna watch them
No,
anyway.
no, no. Because they played. There's two guys I
They
didn't
did
mention.
play.
Ron Granderson and Greg Kite. They did
Yeah.
not play.
But Pat Riley, like you said, came to playoff time. He liked his players.
But
He
the
was loyal to his
is,
players. Just like when John Starks went cold, why you didn't put Rolando Blackman in? That's the reason you got him.
But the point is, you just mentioned the point, Rolando Blackman. The point is, bench players created that team, not just Patrick, not just Houston, not just John Starks, not just Oak. It was a team.
First of all, it's different basketball back then. The 3-pointer was really prevalent back then. Not prevalent. The 3-pointer is prevalent now. But this is what I'm saying. Pat Riley's still stuck with his players, though, who he wanted to play. He should have replaced John Starks with either Herbert Davis or Rolando Blackman when John Starks was going cold. But Riley was loyal to his players.
He told Starks to keep shooting.
Yeah, you tell him to keep shooting. Do what you do. You got us here. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think Tibbs kind of cut from that cloth. So he's going to keep his Brunson in. He's going to keep OG in. He's going to keep Cat in.
In the playoffs, you're supposed to do that. What I'm saying is that we fell in love with these players because we got to see them play.
And they went to the championship game.
Right. So we need to get back to the championship game with some of that kind of strategy.
But it's a different game, though, man.
The game is different, but the game between the lines is different. The coaching strategy needs to be adjusted.
It's different. You could be more physical back then. It's just a different game, and now you have to have your 3-pointers in. Now everybody has to shoot. Everybody has to shoot.
You're missing the point, though. The point isn't that the game is. No, listen. The game isn't.
No, I'm not missing the point.
Yeah. The game is different, but team chemistry is not.
See, I already said the chemistry has to get back together. Tibbs is working on the chemistry. I already said that. The chemistry is not there yet.
Tibbs is not working on the chemistry. We just watched his starters still playing in the 30-point first half. They're up 30.
That's Tibbs, man.
That's not working on chemistry.
I'm not argue with you about it. That's Tibbs. He's going to play his starters 33, 35, 36 minutes a game. And then when their chemistry is okay, we're winning by 20, I'll take you out with 2 minutes left. That's Tibbs, man. That's what I'm saying. Adjust. I don't like when I don't even on TV when they compare the old days to the new days. I think this brand of basketball is better than the old days. The players are much more skilled. Back then, you had Jordan. Like they said, if Jordan played in these days, he'll probably average 50 points a game. If Larry Bird played these days, he'll probably having 52. It's just a different game. And I think the players now are just better and skillful. I mean, you see it in junior high school.
I don't know if that. I disagree with that.
Oh yeah, they could shoot better. They shoot the three.
They shoot jumpers better, but that's about it.
They're more athletic, but
are they more athletic?
Yeah, I think they're more athletic.
No, you take away all the defensive rules, so to allow them to score easier.
I think they're more athletic.
I argue
one thing about Jordan. You got to remember, he was the best athlete on the court. Regardless, he was the best athlete on the court. They got a lot of athletic players now. I just think it's a better game now.
I don't know if they're that athletic. I don't know. I don't know.
I think they are. I mean, I'm just saying.
All they do is shoot jumpers. I don't know.
So to the point,
put it like
NBA,
this.
To the point, NBA players are the most athletic athletes in the 4 sports: cardio, explosion, left and right, lateral movement, verticality. They are the most athletic. I will give them that. They're more athletic than ever before. But I do argue the point that when we said the game is different from back then, I got to look up the average points per game for, like, let's say 2024, right? But I know in the 70s, I know in the 60s, they were scoring 115 points a game. They were lighting it up. There was no defense back then. No matter what any radio personalities say, there was no defense back then. It's just like it was now without the dunking and without the tween cross.
They were dunking back then.
They were, you know what I mean by without the dunking.
Well, just like your boy JJ Redick, who went to Duke. He's a student of the game, and LeBron liked him because they did a podcast together and became a head coach. But like your boy JJ Redick said, it was a bunch of garbage men and janitors playing back then.
But I'm saying the scoring was still as much as it is now. They were skilled enough to put the ball in the hoop. The type of skill with the athleticism and the ball handling has definitely transcended. Where they shoot the ball from, definitely transcended. But they were scoring buckets back then. There was no defense played.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about the Jordan era, there was defense being played. There's a lot of defense being played.
Pre-Jordan. Pre-Jordan era.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Jordan era.
I'm talking about what Jordan
But you
played.
have to. You have to when you talk about how much they're scoring. Because people say, oh, they don't play defense. They score too much. In the 70s and 60s, they would score 115 points a game.
But, you know, they had a lot of issues back in the 70s and 80s, okay? Yeah, some games were blowout, some games were tight. I remember the Pat Riley era, you know, or the 90s with the Bulls and every other team. A good game was 92-87.
I just found the stats.
A good game was 92-87, right? That was a good game. That was considered a great game.
That's considered a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
I just found the stats. You ready? In the 60s and 70s, there were no three-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In the 60s, 115 points a game. 70s, 108 points a game.
Wow.
80s, 109 points a game. 90s, Jordan era, bully ball, 101 points a game. Yeah. 2000s, ISO ball, back them down, right? Trying to figure out how to get back to three. Shaq is dominating, right?
Right.
Barkley's still kind of dominating, all that stuff, right? So in the 90s, it was 101. In the 2000s, 96.
Wow.
2010s, 102. And then now the 20s, 112.
Wow. 3-pointer took over.
Mm-hmm.
No. 60s, 115.
You know.
70s, 108. 80s, 109.
Okay, JJ Redick, 60s
so
and 70s.
When people talk about, oh, they don't do this like before, they're doing it just like before.
I think you can't compare eras.
We just compared the numbers with the shots and the skill.
Yeah, but I think you can't. I think teams have better players now.
Yeah, but compared to each other, we're back to the purest form of basketball, which is scoring.
That's the name of the game. Put the ball in the basket. Put the ball in the basket.
So I know this tailed off a little bit. So because I haven't seen these numbers before. So when people talk about, oh, this Lakers team would have done this, or this Chicago team would have done this, I think the answer is no way.
Yeah, I think you're wrong, but that's okay.
No way.
That's okay. I think Magic and the boys in LA, they would have ran through the league. Jordan and his boys would have ran through the league now. Shaq and Kobe, if they could have stayed together, how many chips they would have had.
That Phil Jackson era with the Lakers and the Bulls, scoring 95 points a game, walking it up, full court back downs, no.
I'm not saying then. I'm saying if they was allowed to play now, because back then there was hand checking.
Yep.
They got rid of the hand check rule. I mean, you see the brutal fouls back then.
How many years do you think it would take for them to get their cardio up to run?
They were in shape, man. Are you crazy? Pat Riley.
Some teams did run.
Riley had them teams in shape.
They didn't run if they were scoring 96 points a game.
Boston,
they had to play defense.
The defense. They had to play defense.
You couldn't run. They were back in it.
You had to run back on defense, man. I mean, come on.
No.
Yeah, come on now.
If you look at NBA pace,
I think I think today's players are definitely more athletic, more skillful. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think they're more athletic, more skillful. You know, bigger, faster. Yeah, they might be bigger and faster. Are they harder? I don't think so. You know, because they don't need to be hard. They don't need to take those clotheslines coming through the hole. You know what I'm saying? What player has a Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley on their team now?
A lot of them do, actually. If you look at like a PJ Washington, guys like that, if you watch the game, they have these guys. It's just not glorified anymore.
No,
We call
I
them
don't.
knuckleheads. We say they're acting out.
No, I don't. I don't think they have those type of players. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
What player has a Shaq on their team anymore? What player has a Charles Barkley on the team? Someone who's going to score, and if you come through that hole, they're going to knock the crap out of you. They don't play that way no more. They don't play no way. You know, they're on the bench. Go in there, give me a foul. Okay, you're going to get a foul, and now they got something called what? Flagrant fouls. Or flagrant 1, flagrant 2, so you can't even go in there and foul them anymore. It's a different game.
Well, it's a different world. That's the same thing in NFL. You can't touch the quarterback. Can't touch the receiver.
It's a different game. Yeah, it's not as violent.
It's a different world. It's the product.
You know,
it's a product.
Yeah, it's not.
That's what I was thinking. Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is one of those guys.
You comparing Dylan Brooks to Oakley?
You said you can't compare errors. You said who's out there like that now? Dylan Brooks is out there.
I don't think anybody's out there like that.
You know who's out there, but he's overseas now because again they're calling them knuckleheads and they're getting them out of here. Is the guard that hurt Westbrook, Pat Bev.
Oh, but Pat Bev his game is done, man. He's been in the league for a while. His game is done.
His game is not done.
His game is done.
His game's not done. His brand is done.
His game is done, man. That's why he's playing overseas. If he can play in the NBA, he'll stay here. His game is done, man. NBA,
his game's not done.
His game's done, man.
No, you know why he's done?
I thought the Knicks would get Pat Bev because he's a defensive guy.
No,
but his game's
not done because he threw the basketball at the fan twice.
But that's different, though.
That's different. That's different, man. You're right. You're right.
His brand is done.
You're right.
Oakley and them weren't doing that. Oakley
weren't
hurting fans.
You're right. You're right. Pat Bev.
Well, Rodman was kicking people, so his brand is done.
Rodman was kicking fans?
Yeah, he kicked the cameraman.
All right, you're reaching. All right, man. So
you don't remember that? You don't remember
kicking the cameraman? You're reaching. I mean, the game is totally different from all that, man. You're not gonna have that. You can't even argue with a fan on the court if you get him fined. The game is different, man.
Well, that was your point though. Like you said, Pat was done. I'm like, he's not done. His game is not done.
Pat Beverly's done in the league.
Not because of his game. Not because of his game.
Oh yeah, I think it's because of his game. He's played a long time in the season in the NBA. Long time. He's played he had a good career in the NBA. So
he's not getting cooked.
I don't know.
I do. I'm watching these games. His game is not done.
You watch him? Who he plays for?
He played for Milwaukee last year.
All right, who's playing for this year?
He's overseas because he hit the fan. He threw the ball at the fan.
Okay. Okay. All right, man. So all right. So hey, let's end this on that note.
Pat Bev.
Yeah, man.
Jalen Brunson to Pat Bev. All right.
Yeah. I actually thought the Knicks was gonna pick him up for defense. That's what I thought. I thought he was a Tibbs guy for defense. I thought the Knicks were gonna pick him up.
You can't sign a. They won't sign a guy who's a head case, according to them.
Okay, Kyrie's a head case, isn't he?
No,
He's
But not like that though.
Not like that.
that.
Okay.
Not like that.
Okay. Well, he's done. He's like,
Pat Bev pulled a Ron Artest, and that's why he out of here.
there you
Right.
go. There you go. We pulled even Rod Artest was a little bit too much, but Pat Bev had a good career in the NBA. I think his game was just done. You know, it's like Fournier. He went back to what, France or Spain, wherever he's from. He was playing pretty good over there. I think his game just physically he just couldn't do it in the NBA.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. They go overseas because, you know, if physically they could, they'll keep him. League minimum, they would keep him. Because every team wants even if it's a practice player, they want these athletes on the team. You know, Rondo was a head case. Rondo, I thought, was a great point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Rondo was a head case. I like Rondo. I like Rondo's like, you ain't scoring. I ain't passing you the ball. I'm gonna give it to so and so. I like Rondo. So yeah, it's just different eras to me. And look at the score. Knicks score. All the stars are in.
Knicks are up 32. All the starters are in.
All the stars in. Is it? So you're saying it's Tibbs?
I'm not saying it. The game is.
Okay. All right. You're saying it's Tibbs. You're saying it's Tibbs. I like Tibbs.
I like him too. I love him. But the game right now is saying that he has his starting five in up 32 points.
Yeah. So Tibbs saying I'm gonna get your minutes up, your scoring up, your rebounds up, so you can make that all-star team. So I don't understand it either. But in Tibbs I trust. I don't understand it either, man.
So what he's saying is, so I think Cat is doing great rebounding this game. He's got 17 rebounds already. Right? So, you know, the numbers look great, just like some of the guys that we couldn't re-sign, right? Their worth is getting inflated, and we're gonna not be able to pay for them when it's time to re-up if they're not on the contract.
Like who?
Like Hartenstein, like DiVincenzo, right? These guys, they had career numbers with the Knicks because they had career minutes.
But I think Hartenstein, wasn't that he could get paid more money from another team if he went to them?
Because of his production. Right? So if you're a Tibbs guy, you're gonna get all those minutes, and you might get burnt out. We might not win the championship, but you're gonna sign a contract the next year with somebody else. And the players are always gonna love him for that opportunity. It's those other guys that need the opportunity too.
Well,
Gotta have a balance.
Good luck with Tibbs. The only way you're gonna get the opportunity, the other player leg gets cut off, needs surgery. That's how Tibbs is, man. That's the mindset. I like Tibbs. You're gonna play, and you know, one thing we don't like to compare eras, and I don't. But back in the day, everybody played 81 games. Look at Mikal Bridges. I was surprised of his numbers and how many games he played in minutes. He doesn't miss games. So,
And I'm not going to say it's easy for him, because I know it's not. His style of play allows him to do that.
there's still a lot of games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. His style of play allows him to do that. His style of play, if you watch a game right now and you watch him play, I bet you if you have a conversation with him, he patterned it off of, later years of Ray Allen. It's very similar in the style of play.
Ray Allen played all the games too. People forget how great Ray Allen was when he played with Seattle.
Well,
that wasn't just great with Boston. That
was a young Ray Allen attacking the basket.
Jesus.
Yeah,
that's Jesus Sanford. Played in Coney Island. That was Jesus.
But if you watch his game, it looks just like that. The 2 dribble pull up, the catch and shoot,
Oh,
the coming off screens.
Okay. I think Ray Allen was way better than Mikal Bridges. Way better. But it's still Mikal Bridges.
Barry's not saying he was better. He's just saying he's playing similar. He's playing like him.
I don't know. I remember him playing for Seattle. It was him and Kobe. They were monsters. So we'll see. But Brunson in, Knicks up by 900 points. You'll come out with a minute and a half left, and when that lead drops down to 20, everybody gotta come in. But this is how Tibbs coaches. This is how he plays, and I think everybody on the Knicks knows this. So
yeah,
they just have to get ready. So I think the more chemistry on the court, maybe easier the games will be. So I don't even count the Charlotte game. Game after Thanksgiving. That's like having the games after New Year's. You know what they was doing New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Yep. So this game's over.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And
I think it's a good one. Let's
wrap it up. So we're still right now. I'm done with the Jets. Maybe they'll have some drama this week. We could talk about it, but the season's over. I think it's all about the Knicks right now. That's what I'm watching. That's what I'm thinking about. Yankees, why Soto isn't signed yet. What are the Yankees waiting for?
So I just saw something on that. I was looking something up about him. CBS News was reporting that that they think the last two teams that are going to be in the bid for him are going to be the Mets and the Red Sox, because the Yankees going to cap their bid at $550 million.
Yeah, they were talking about that earlier this week. I know the holiday went through, so it is what it is.
And I think it's because of Judge. You got.
Well, Judge got a big contract. He has what, $400 million.
Who you gonna
Jerry
pay?
Cole got like a $300 million contract. They don't want to take on another big contract. I don't know.
Judge better get better then.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know how better you can get for Judge. But look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers have, did you see the Dodgers have like $1 billion roster?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
If you add
like I said in weeks past, baseball salaries, it doesn't matter. It's unlimited funds.
Yeah, baseball is like the Yankees can afford it, but I guess they don't want to. And the Dodgers are spending. So I just hope they don't lose Soto. If you lose Soto, who are you gonna replace him with?
Yeah.
Yep. So I know Sam wanted to wrap up with the Yankees. I want to wrap up with still some basketball, some New York basketball. Although I'm wearing my Sienna hoodie today. Lou Cornacecca, St. John's legend coach, passed away.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and growing up, New York City, I watched St. John's play ball. That's all I did. I watched St. John's play basketball. And it was on TV for me, so that's part of like me falling in love with the game of basketball is watching St. John's basketball. I'm in upstate now, and I'm not a Syracuse fan because of St. John's basketball.
Well, the Big East was something else.
Away,
You had Chris Mullin, Walter Berry.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Lou Cornacecca, because I learned a lot of the game from watching St. John's.
Oh yeah, St. John's even had Ron Artest.
Yep, but I think that was the last good player they had. So
they had what was the kid from the Bronx? A kid from Rice High School.
Oh yeah.
Felipe Lopez.
Yeah, Felipe Lopez
was good. He didn't make it great in the pros. That dude was good.
He stayed in college a little too long. He should have came out when he peaked. But he's old school. His family was old school, and they wanted him to get his education, and he listened to him.
Well, I think he.
There was a great documentary on him.
Yeah, but I think knee injuries got him too. But Felipe Lopez is great.
Yeah, he was.
So
what do you want to finish with?
St. John's is good. Syracuse, That's when the Big East was a Big East. But Syracuse had Carmelo, and I'm gonna tell you right now, watching college basketball, I never saw a guy dominate as a freshman like Carmelo did.
Well, you're going to see it again with Cayenne.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, Carmelo was just good as a freshman. Break. Let's wrap it up. Done with cut Rogers, release, rebuild.
Yeah, I won't wear my mask next week. So
done with the Jets, man.
I hit you up with a text like the mask.
Yeah, the mask, Sam, the mask. No more jet gear next week.
No, they're done.
They're done. Hey, we got the Knicks. Hey, as far as football, New York City Giants, I don't know what's happening with them either. They used to be a good organization. Hey, we haven't talked about Brooklyn.
There's nothing to talk about.
Maybe next week. I watched the Brooklyn game because they played Orlando, and I wanted to see Orlando play.
Okay, so to wrap it up, yeah, disappointed season again for the Jets. Longtime Jet fan. Out of this group, I'm probably the only one who's been to Shea Stadium to watch Joe Namath play as a kid. Done with the Jets. Knicks. I think the word's still out on the Knicks. Patience.
Words. Knicks are gonna.
The
Knicks are
word's
gonna make
not
playoffs.
out on the Knicks. Are we gonna get our young guys some minutes?
All right. Okay. You won't see that. You won't see that.
73-43, 7 minutes in the third quarter, and all of our starters are in.
Yeah. Is that punishment for Charlotte?
And the only player that has his warm-up off is Payne. Payne and Sims.
Yeah. I don't.
So that's what hey, let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Tibbs, are you gonna rest your players?
You need to.
Yeah. So with that, like, follow, and comment. Cat huffing and puffing. So hey, Tuesday, let's hope they beat the Magic and get the #1 seed for the
Erskine Cup. Is that what it's called?
NBA Emirates Cup.
Emirates Cup. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we'll get to see the fancy floor.
Yeah. So, and Orlando's good. Is it incentive for the players? What you're saying is incentives for the fans to watch.
Right.
Alrighty.
All right, we're wrapping with that. Sorry, Jet fans. The mask. Go Knicks. See y'all next week.
All right.